First, we'll hear the proposed zoning change for Foxwood Trail PRD map. Is there anybody that would
Actually,
like to speak?
Mayor, the first item is a proposed amendment of the zoning ordinance regulating solar energy systems.
Oh, sorry.
That's as it's advertised.
Okay. All right, then we'll go to the zoning ordinance regarding solar energy systems.
So if there's anybody who wants to provide any testimony regarding that ordinance, it has been properly advertised and has been available for review. So if anybody wants to provide any input on that, now's the time.
Can you state your name?
No, because this is this here.
Pull that microphone up a little bit.
There you go.
We're in this part right here, this public hearing.
Can I ask a question about that? As I read it, it said that zoning allows electric panels for any residential building, any residential home or on the land, is that right? And it says, what I read was said that they can be on the house or on the ground.
For solar panels, as long as it's primarily being used for on-site purposes. That's the limitation. The limitation is that it couldn't be used primarily for commercial purposes.
Okay, so there's no limit on individuals having this sort of thing, it's just if you put it up for export solely, you can't use it. What if, when in the summer, when you're running and you're not making a lot of electricity, the meter turns backwards and you are exporting?
Yeah, that's why the language is primarily used for, right, in the ordinance. So it's, as long as you're not primarily using it as a commercial venue, that's the purpose.
And that would net out over the year, right? So in the summer, you're making excess.
Right.
True to winter, you're not. So, and just so Jonathan knows, all the accessory solar systems are grandfathered in.
Anything that's already there, but,
So-
right, and you're, it's not, the point isn't you're gonna measure the energy each month, it's primarily what's the purpose.
Is there anyone else who'd like to speak?
Ed Bank, 3697 Saxonburg. Is there any maximum amount of solar panels that can be put up? I didn't see it in there.
Yes.
I saw it has to be at least 20 acres if you're going commercial.
Yes.
But what's the maximum you can put in? Can you put in a panel field like they have at the airport? That's thousands of panels? At one time there was, early discussions, there was a maximum amount of power that could be occupied.
You're talking about in the office in the two areas where it'd be permitted in the office, commercial, and the flex area?
Yeah, where you have to have at least 20 acres and that's all be fenced and all that stuff.
Right, those are the restrictions, right, setbacks, fencing, that buffer.
But you can have 100 acres of solar panels, is what I'm hearing?
I don't know if we have lots that big.
Yes.
Those-
But yes, you could. I mean,
Yeah.
the answer to the question, yes, you could.
Yes. Yes.
But you
Okay.
have to meet all the setback regulations.
Practically.
So what we did in the township is,
There's certain states.
so it's only allowed in two different areas.
Right.
Office, flex, commercial, and light industrial. And when you look at a township zoning map, for areas that are 20 acres or more in those two areas, I think we calculated, I think there's like 7 potential sites that it could happen. And along that same line is that those areas are pretty, not too much more than that 20 acres. So it's, by the time you put in the buffer area around it and comply with the rest of the ordinance, that's the limiting factor of the number of panels that can be put on that site. Can they buy additional land and consolidate it? Sure. But given the location, I don't expect on seeing it, let's put it that way.
So they couldn't come back and ask for a piece of property that's bigger to be rezoned? They fit that?
They could.
Of course, you can always ask for something to be rezoned.
Okay. So there is no limit to how big?
Correct.
If someone agreed to the rezoning, it could be 100 acres or 200 acres or whatever.
Yes.
Okay. I thought there was a maximum output that we were looking at one point.
No.
Okay, I didn't see it in there, that's why I asked. Thank you.
Are there any other comments?
And if there are no more, Mayor, regarding the solar energy systems, we can move on then to, we'd have to have a motion to close the public hearing for that and move on to the public hearing for the Foxwood Trail.
I'll make a motion to close the public hearing for the zoning ordinance regulating solar energy systems.
Second.
I have a motion by Supervisor Crowley and second by Supervisor Hardwick to close the public hearing on zoning ordinance regulating solar energy systems. Is there any further comments? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Then we can just open the public hearing then for the,
Now we're gonna open
Zoning
the
change.
public hearing for zoning change to Foxwood Trails PRD map.
Yeah, if I can, this is really, it's just a reclassification of the property. And what happens when, you know, this area was planned residential development. When a planned residential development is approved, it causes a change in the zoning map. We put an outline that identifies, you know, planned residential development. This particular planned residential development was not developed within 5 years, so that it's deemed abandoned. So at that point, it's abandoned, it's no longer a PRD, but if somebody was looking at the map, it would still look like a PRD. So what this ordinance does is really just eliminate the PRD from the map. Under section 711 of the MPC, it requires the reclassification, which is requiring it to put it back, basically put it back the way it was. That's what this ordinance accomplishes, it just puts it back to what it was before, which was the MDR, medium density residential.
and with that, we can take any comments that any public has on that matter.
It's really a ministerial act.
Yeah, it's administrative, basically, just so that nobody looks at the map. Okay, since I see no comments, no one at the podium,
We can close that public hearing then, and we can move on to the regular meeting at 7.
yeah, can I get a motion to close the public hearing on proposed zoning change, or actually update?
Reclassification.
The reclassification of Foxwood Trail PRD map of the Foxwood.
So moved.
Second.
A motion by Supervisor Hedrick, second by Supervisor Newman to close the meeting. Any further discussion? In that case, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Okay, we'll convene the meeting at 7.
And we will reconvene at 7 o'clock for the regular supervisors meeting. Thank you.
You have to stop it.